Hey there, classic gamers. I'm Samantha Brown, here to bring you a blast from the past. On a whim, my roomie and I decided to download the original Rayman game by Ubisoft from the PlayStation 3 network for old time's sake. The game was first released in 1995, making it 15 years old, and I was hoping my fond memories of the game would hold up to its actual gameplay. The story is simple enough. On a dark and windy cloak-billowing day, Mr. Dark defeats Batilla the Fairy, capturing the Great Protoon and scattering the Electoons, which are tiny round fairies. Rayman is left to save the Electoons by rescuing them from their cages hidden throughout the world, and ultimately defeat Mr. Dark in the final level, Candy Chateau. The story isn't as wildly imaginative as its level design, but it's compelling enough to work in a 2D scrolling game. A couple things still stand out as unique, even after more than a decade. You travel two-dimensionally through 6 worlds: Dream Forest, Bandland, Blue Mountains, Picture City, Cave of Scots, and Candy Chateau, each including several levels and a boss. Within the worlds, you acquire new powers such as punching, helicopter hair, and sprinting, and each world looks completely different with corresponding villains and obstacles, from rock monsters in the cave levels to friendly drums and angry trumpets in Band World. However, I still don't understand why they felt the need to put eyes on everything. The music is also very original, changing with each of the worlds, and even the tings, which you can collect to gain extra lives, play at little tunes if you catch them in succession. Despite the music's best attempt to cheer us up, our fond memories soon turn to frustration and unbridled rage. The game is impossible without using cheats for extra lives, namely the 99 life cheat that we used at least 10 times, no exaggeration. If you die and use your only 5 continues, you essentially have to start over despite your many hours of effort. To pass each level, you must play it enough times to memorize all the obstacles until your moves are ingrained in your brain. Skill hardly helps in completing any of its unforgiving levels. Only repeated, failed attempts and memorization can highlight the way to the finish post. Even then, certain obstacles become unsynced and you have to wait for them to sync back up to proceed. The bosses are somewhat of a letdown, considering they follow a particular pattern that you just have to wait out, and in fact, they're the easiest part of the levels, with the exception of Space Mama, that fat bitch opera singer with a washer time machine and laser rolling pin. After having to trade off to control our frustration, we finally completed all the levels, but in a cruel twist, you must replay all the levels to collect all the hidden Electoons in cages before you can play the final boss, Mr. Dark, probably the most unoriginal character within the game. Together, we put more hours and heartache into any game we've ever played. We came to the conclusion that because technology hadn't allowed us to play online with friends and other modern features we're used to, the designers simply made the game impossibly hard so that you would put as much time into it as 6 months of online Call of Duty play. Overall, Rayman still stands out in its design but fails in most other categories. However, the game was loved enough to warrant numerous sequels, including Rayman 2: The Great Escape, Rayman 3: Hoodlum Havoc, and Rayman Hoodlum's Revenge, and the fun Wii sequels that have no relation to the Rayman storyline, Rayman Raving Rabbids. At E3, they released the trailer for Rayman Origins that's set to be released Christmas 2010, so let's hope they improve the gameplay in this new modern take. In the meantime, I'm working on growing out my hair for some helicopter hair.